Welcome to another edition of Fast Break. I'm Penny Davis, NCAA National Coordinator of Women's Basketball Officiating. The topic of this video is replay reviews. This video will mostly focus on the 4 situations that require a replay review when replay is available. 3 of those involve situations where the game clock runs to triple zeros at the end of a quarter, and the 4th situation when a replay review is required when a fight has or may have occurred. Let's look at some plays. It is required for officials to review the on-court ruling of a made basket or canceled basket when the clock runs to triple zeros. Following the ruling on the court, the officials will use replay to determine whether the try for field goal that entered the basket was released before time expired on the game clock. When at replay, the officials will use the reading of zeros on the game clock. If the game clock is not visible, officials will then use the red light or red LED lights around the backboard to make their decision. If those lights are not visible, the final piece of information to use in making the decision will be the sounding of the game clock horn. In this example, triple zeros on the clock is a de facto piece of evidence to use as the LED lights illuminate early. It's critical that officials find a view with the actual game clock and not use the information provided by the broadcast, as the clocks may not be in sync with each other. At the end of the game, even when the outcome is not impacted by the scoring or canceling of the final goal, a review is still required to ensure accurate game data. The level of certainty that the officials have in the on-court ruling is not a factor in needing to review the goal. The review is mandatory. Similar to the last play, when a shot clock is expiring near the same time as the game clock and there is a made basket, officials are required to use replay to determine whether a shot clock violation occurred before the time expired on the game clock. Again, an on-court ruling must be made by the crew before going to replay. While this example shows both a shot clock violation and a timing mistake, the review of the release of the shot before the expiration of the shot clock would confirm the call on the floor and permit for the correction of time to when the official recognized the violation. Time should be reset to 4 seconds and the ball awarded to the opponent. The final review related to time expiring in any quarter involves scenarios where there's a foul called as the clock expires. Officials are required to use replay to determine whether a foul occurred before time expired on the game clock. When replay shows that the foul occurred before time expired on the game clock, the officials shall put the exact time back on the game clock as to when the foul occurred. As a reminder, officials will look for the illegal contact and not the official's signal for the foul. In this example, when it is deemed that the foul occurred before the reading of zeros on the game clock, but the try was not released before the reading of zeros, the foul shall be penalized. With the use of replay, the officials will put the exact time on the game clock as to when the foul occurred. When the officials determine that time should be put back on the game clock, the game is not ended and the goal shall count. In this play, the illegal contact occurred after the expiration of time. When the officials confirm via replay that the ruling of a foul on the court occurred after the expiration of time, the game has ended. The only contact that is penalized after time expires is when the contact is deemed to be intentional or disqualifying. At any time during the game, officials must use replay to determine whether a fight occurred and the individuals who participated and/or left the bench or substitution areas. In this example, the officials would observe those individuals that left the bench area or any substitute who left the substitute area and see that there were no infractions. While some players in the game did participate in the fight by committing a fighting act, some other players aided in dissolving the conflict. At replay, officials need to identify those who committed fighting acts as well as those who tried to restore order. Players and coaches assisting to defuse the situation should only grab or hold back their own team members to avoid the potential of provoking additional fighting acts. Some examples of fighting acts include use of the fist, hand, arm, foot, knee, or leg to combatively strike the other individual. Anytime a player uses a closed fist in an unsporting manner, it should be deemed that the individual initiated a fighting act. When, during a confrontation, an individual uses unsporting acts or comments that, in the opinion of the official, provoke the other individual to retaliate by fighting, it should be ruled that both individuals have been involved in the fight. When no replay is available, it is imperative that one or more official surveys the entire situation to identify the participants in the fight and key facts in the situation. I hope that you have found this information helpful.
Are you interested in becoming an official? Go to ncaa.org/sayyes to officiating for more information.